Welcome to CHGO Bets Daily, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me is my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_Bets. And bobbing his head like a lunatic is Joey Spathis, our producer. We got Wednesday college football, 50 straight days here until the next 50 days. I don't know. I can't do that math. I don't know when that day is, when it ends. 50 straight days of football.
I think it's the day before Thanksgiving.
The day before Thanksgiving.
We legitimately have 50 straight days of football.
50 straight days of football.
God bless.
Maction's going to be back on a Tuesday. Aren't you excited? We're going to talk about that. I didn't. Why don't you play again?
Well, yeah, because I just turned the TV down.
It's actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Amazing.
So we got 50 straight days of football. Cody's going to break down the Wednesday college football action, and then we'll get into the Bears and Commanders, which is tomorrow. Cody, what game are you looking at first? Is it the Jacksonville State middle game?
Middle Tennessee, absolutely.
Let's go.
We got
Blue Raiders.
Jacksonville State Gamecocks versus the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Under 52, folks. All right, Middle Tennessee throws the ball a ton, Sean, and that might say, well, you should take the over then, Cody. Well, let me tell you something, all right? They throw over 55% of their snaps, but their passing yards per completion is just 8.9 yards per play, and that's 132nd in the country.
Yikes.
Their yards per attempt is 6.1, which is 114th in the country. Jacksonville State on the other side, they run the ball 66% of the time. So when they have the ball, as long as Middle Tennessee doesn't allow explosive plays, big chunk yard games, they could run 6-7 minute drives, and that's good for the under, folks. And on defense, they've been pretty good all season too. So I like the under in this game. I'd play it down to 49 if it gets down there. Next game, FIU New Mexico State, little Conference USA action. I think Jacksonville State and Middle Tennessee is Conference USA too.
Yes.
Are they? Okay. We just got Conference USA all night. Anyway, FIU and New Mexico State under 49. I'd probably play it to 47. FIU is 4-1 on the under this year. All right. New Mexico plays at one of the slowest paces in college football. 31.4 seconds per play.
Is that Jerry Kill's team?
I think
The
so.
former Minnesota coach. Yeah. But he's not at practice. So I don't know. We'll see.
I just don't see them playing completely different without him there.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Well, okay, so they play real slow. They run the ball 61% of the time. And FIU, defensively, has actually been really good. There's been 18 different trips into the red zone against their defense this year, and only half of them have resulted in touchdowns. All right? So I like field goals, I like punts, and I love it when you run the ball 60% of the time, folks. Hammer the under. We got like 2 unders tonight on college football. Wednesday night football, baby.
Disgusting. Hey, you could even tease those up and get
could,
better numbers too if you wanted to. So there you go. Sit back, relax, and watch some Thursday night football.
Punts.
Let's do it. All right. So the one game that we're also going to focus on is the Bears game. Bears are taking on the Commanders on Thursday night. I'm trying to find Justin Fields' passing. There it is.
I wish I did this on Sunday, and because I
finally went over 300.
He finally for the first 2 weeks of the year, or the first 3 weeks of the year, I took the alternate passing yards for him over 225 plus, and he missed it by except for against Kansas City, he was way off. But the 2 weeks before that, he came like 10 yards short of getting it, and those were at like plus 450. Tonight or tomorrow, I'm taking Justin Fields, 250 plus passing yards, plus 450. I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it again. I don't care if it's the Commanders. He's coming off a great game. He is not the reason they lost that game. The reason they lost that game is because their defense sucks. But he was great. He's coming off a great game. He's going up against a great defense, I know.
I didn't even tell you the over-under. You just said 250.
Well, the over-under is 192.
Yeah, 192.5. So you
Short
said
week.
you said fuck that.
Yeah.
Plus
give
250.
Give me 250 plus because you get it at plus 450. The market is low on his passing yards, and I've been very disappointed the 3 of the 4 weeks. Yes. He should have had more passing yards the first 2 weeks especially. But he freaking threw over 300 yards passing last week. I'm riding the hot hand, man. I don't care if it's the Commanders.
I do care if it's the Commanders, and I love your energy. I'm not going to say, hey, back off on that. I do.
Their
also
defense
like,
scares me. Yes.
I do like Justin to run one in. I think that he will score a touchdown this week. I don't know. You get pretty desperate at points, and I do think again at some point it's going to light up in their head. Oh, hey, this kid was our best runner last year, and he's 6'4", fast as hell, untackleable, and strong. So he'll probably get some chances in the red zone. But looking at the player sack market, you look at Chase Young over 2.5 or a quarter of a sack at plus 110. Jonathan Allen a quarter of a sack plus 114. Montez Sweat over a quarter of a sack plus 100. This is all on DraftKings. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it's not even a half sack. Like I'm just betting on those 3 players to have a half sack. The Bears defensive or offensive line is horrible. Watching CHGO Bears, apparently they've switched up their cadences and made them a little bit more complex. And you see multiple instances last week where the tackles are just not even moving. The ball's hiked and they just don't even understand that the ball's been snapped. And literally there's one where Wright's literally just looking around like, oh shit, goddamn, play started. So I do think that Sweat, especially what we saw last year from the Commanders against the Bears, are absolutely going to get Fields on the ground. I hate to see it, but that's what I'm foreseeing. So I'll take all those players to record a half sack. I got to go make sure that that's real. But that's mine. And you also get a 50% profit boost for any Commanders-Bears bet. So I wouldn't hate the Bears plus 6, I'll be fair. Or be honest. We've seen line movement from Commanders minus 7. There's been some buyback on that to minus 5.5, and now it's even been pushed to minus 6. So I lean Bears on the side, but then again, they're the Bears. I mean, it's
a bad game to bet.
They covered last week.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna blindly bet the under again because it's another prime time. It's another prime time game. Both teams coming off a short week. I do think that the Bears offense isn't going to put up 28 points again just because the Commanders defense is definitely better. And last year when these two teams played, it was disgusting. It was an awful game. But I also think both, in some aspects, I think the Commanders are better than last year. So, I don't know. Under 44.5, like I'd take it. I would take it. Other plays that I like for the Bears game, you mentioned Fields to run one in at plus 150 is not bad.
They have to do it at some point, right?
I like Khalil Herbert at plus 195. He had a great game last week, and I will say the Bears did run the ball very well last week. So I feel like they're going to continue to do that. Also, because they are coming off a short week, I don't hate Roschon Johnson at plus 280 just because.
To score,
yeah. Just because, again, short week, you know how running backs are. And he didn't play a ton last week. Or on Sunday, whatever. So I think his usage could be up this week, which is something I thought was going to start increasing this past week, but maybe because of the short week, they held back on him. So maybe they go down on Khalil Herbert or go back to like a 50-50 split again. So, yeah, I don't hate Roschon to get in at plus 280. He almost scored a touchdown against the Broncos, came like a yard or two short on his longest run last week. Herbert basically carried them down the field on that one particular drive I'm thinking of, and then they brought in Roschon when they got inside the 20. So I don't hate him. Also, Cole Kmet plus 320, scored 2 touchdowns last week. So
not bad.
Yeah.
And he's our CHGO guy.
He is our CHGO guy.
CHGO Bears on Friday.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be in studio. We could see that me and him, Cole Kmet, are the same height.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. The camera really doesn't show how tall I am. So I am actually 6'6", just like Cole Kmet.
Yeah. As far as sorry,
You're all fine.
As far as the Commanders, I think, like, how do you not just take the receiving prop for Terry McLaurin with how bad the secondary's been? The secondary's actually just been the most disappointing thing to me. I thought the secondary
injuries too.
Yeah, they've had injuries and they're not getting a good enough pass rush, so it's just, but they have overall been disappointing. So I think if you get Terry McLaurin over 59.5, I feel like that's
that's one pass, basically. He's just got to shake off one defender. He's got like a 60-yard touchdown.
This secondary was so bad last week, man. It has been so bad. So
And they're young and they're bad. And they're coming on a short week. Like, Terry McLaurin should eat. Why am I sneezing so much?
Ugh.
Sorry. I did cash those bets, though. Deron Payne over a quarter of a sack, Montez Sweat over a quarter of a sack, Jonathan Allen over a quarter of a sack, and Chase Young over a quarter of a sack. So those are my bets. I just feel like any McLaurin bet, any Howell passing bet, and any sack bet for the Commanders is a good bet. I think all of those could hit, though, and the Bears still cover 6. Because, this is just going to be a sloppy Thursday night game where, last year it was like 13-6?
Yeah.
So, it could just be
I think
ugly.
Carson Wentz was the quarterback for the Commanders in that game, but yeah, or it was either Carson Wentz or it was either
Carson Wentz sounds right.
Yeah, it was Carson Wentz or that one guy who played in the XFL, Taylor Heineke. It was one of the two. But
2022. Now I got to find this. It was 12-7.
Mm-hmm. But that game,
yeah, no, it's Wentz.
the Bears weren't using Fields the way that they should have been using him during that game, though. So and it's kind of like they did start using Fields the right way last week, though. Right. So I kind of, you forced me to bet a team, I guess I'd lean the Bears. But man, I'm just so mentally destroyed by them from not only a fan standpoint, but even as a gambler. Last week I had Texans and Bears moneyline parlay, and the Bears blow a 28-7 lead. Are you kidding me? After the Texans easily beat the Steelers,
mercy, brutal. It's a bad beat.
I'd stay away, man. I'd stay away from betting on the spread or anything. Stick to a prop or something.
We gave out the
take the under because of the prime time.
You're taking Fields passing, so we'll see. And shout out to Jim, who says also Jahan Dotson might have a big game. That is Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow the Best Show at CHGO_Bets. And you can follow me at Sean_W. We'll be back tomorrow with the Big Ten show. So we'll be talking some Big Ten football and exploring that with our guy Herb around a time. I actually don't know. But we'll talk to you then. Goodbye.